Interesting topics again, and I'm going to introduce the next one, who is an accomplished solution consultant at ServiceNow with 7+ years in telecommunications, and he finds his passion in seamlessly blending cutting-edge technology with real-world solutions. With the topic Generative AI and ServiceNow comes Moritz Kleine.
Hello, everybody. So it's great to be here on stage, that I have the possibility to give you some insights on the newest shit of generative AI on the ServiceNow platform. And as I will be talk about future stuff, I need to show you this wonderful next slide, safe harbor notice. This is always magic, so please don't do any buying decision on forward-looking statement, and definitely today there will be some forward-looking future statements. So apparently we all have entered the age of AI, and the speed is really enormous, and it feels like a blink of an eye when I was that size, watching those movies, like you may see it, Knight Rider with Kid as the talking car, or Star Wars, and suddenly some of these technologies become reality. And that is really in a massive amount of speed. But before we get a little bit deeper into the topic of AI and what ServiceNow is doing with AI and Gen AI, I want to talk a little bit about ServiceNow before that. Maybe a quick question. Please raise your hand if you have heard of ServiceNow so far. Very good. That sounds very good. Because there are some people who do not know ServiceNow. There are some people who know this is this ticketing tool, something, okay, service management. We are going into the right direction. And some are saying, isn't that this intelligent automation low-code platform? And this is exactly what we are and where we position ServiceNow. And we could see the same huge speed on the ServiceNow platform as well. If we take a look on that slide, and don't worry, you don't have to read it, but what it basically is saying, we are really involving our portfolio coming from IT service management, which is apparently aware to the most of all, but we are getting into the business areas as well, talking about risk management, talking about employee workflows, talking about security operations, and many other industrialized products. So ServiceNow is heavily evolving here, and you can see ServiceNow has bought some companies, and with that, their capabilities. And one main difference, what ServiceNow is doing, ServiceNow is not just plug in the capability. ServiceNow every time re-platforms the whole capability so that it's natively integrated on the ServiceNow platform. And of course, AI. ServiceNow has already made strong investment in AI technology, buying companies, developed it by itself since 2017. With that, lot of capabilities coming with that, whether this are machine learning frameworks, these are virtual agent, natural language processing, process optimization, process mining. So you can see there are several AI technologies that are already in place on the ServiceNow platform. And with that said, before we talk about Gen AI, you can and you should make use of the AI technologies that are already in place. So for example, talking about conversational intelligence. So here we are talking about virtual agents, about chatbots. And honestly, my personal chatbot experience is more bad than good, because I never get the right information, not at the right time. I have to do lots of things, and in the end, I'm talking to a real agent. This is my chatbot experience. But what we want to be chatbots in the future is more workbots who are really solving our problems. And that means, in most cases, they need to trigger, for example, workflow. They need to trigger actions. And this is exactly what we are doing on the ServiceNow platform with our virtual agent. On the other hand, we have our operations intelligence. So if you are in the role of an event manager, there are thousands of events, of logs, of alerts, and they're all making a huge noise, and you don't know where to look. And with ServiceNow AI Ops, we have the possibility to exactly correlate those alerts, to bring them into groups, and really to specifically assign those to config items and to assign them to really business services with our data model. So this is a really helpful thing to reduce all of this noise. And maybe here, last but not least, predictive intelligence. So if you are in the role of an agent, you are creating an incident, you need to usually fill in thousands of fields. But how would it be if all these fields are filled in automatically? And this is where predictive intelligence or our classification frameworks comes into play, which fills in, for example, directly the right assignment group, maybe directly the right criticality, all based on historical data. And you could even do one step further. If you're working on that incident, it could be helpful that you see similar incidents, and you may get recommended a resolution code for that, or a resolution node, which you can then directly use for this incident. Or the system is seeing, okay, there are several open incidents which have like a similar short description or are on the same CI. The system can do some recommendation in terms of, would it make sense to create a major incident? So this and much more capabilities are already in place on the ServiceNow platform, and we always recommend to our customers who are all saying, okay, what can you do with Gen AI? And I want to start with Gen AI immediately. We are first saying, yes, you can and you will start, but please start with those AI technologies that are already in place, and maybe then as the next step, make use of these Gen AI technologies. But of course, all these AI technologies are only working in combination with the ServiceNow platform, whether these are the workspaces and the portals, so the way how we interact as an agent or as an employee with the portal, or the workflow engine. This is the way how we build our own workflows and how we want our customer to be able to build exactly these workflows, to connect the solution, have this centralized structured data as a foundation, and all with that low-code, no-code approach and the ability to integrate other systems as well. So where do we find generative AI or AI on the ServiceNow platform? So this is one of our magic platform slides. I think there are certainly 1,000 versions of that. But basically, in the midst, you can see the platform functionalities. On top, you see our different kind of workflows that we are providing, whether this is customer service management, field service management, asset management, and so on, HR service delivery, that are heading towards different kind of user groups or even creator workflows. As already said, we want to make our customers available to develop their own applications, to develop their own workflows. And on the bottom, you can see we have the possibility to integrate with several other systems. And you already could guess it. Yes, of course, in the part of intelligence, there we position our generative AI capability. And the main benefit of that is that you could specifically use this AI technology or Gen AI technology to leverage all of the workflows that we are seeing here above. That means we have here different kind of use cases that we are seeing currently for those workflows, and this is really just the start, and there we are, of course, depending on you as our customers as well, because we are really keen to know what kind of use cases do you see, and we are then able to do and implement in ServiceNow. But let's take a quick look on, of course, generative AI. So what does it mean, and where do we see the advantages? And one big advantage is exactly this combination, the combination of this no-code, intelligent and automation platform combined with this generative AI technology. And later on, I have some use cases, I have some videos for you so that you can really feel the experience. Unfortunately, I cannot show you a live system, but maybe if you are interested, we can organize it later on or in some days. But basically, our customers have the possibility to choose their Gen AI providers. So currently, we have out-of-the-box connections to OpenAI, to Microsoft Azure. Google Cloud is currently under investigation. But of course, we are building our own domain-specific large language models. Here, for example, in cooperation with NVIDIA, we have a cooperation with Hugging Faces, where we have a common initiative, which is called Big Star. And there we, I think somewhere in June or May, released our code large language model that we are using for our capabilities like text to code. We will see that later on as well. And of course, it is good that we are having like a kind of input, we have information, we have a prompt. All this comes into this magic LLM bubble, and then some things happen and an output is created. But I think the important thing is, what is the action after that? So what can we do with that information? And this is exactly where ServiceNow comes into place, where, and we will see that later on, for example, workflows can be triggered based on the outcome of that model. But now I want to show you some use cases, and you can already see there is a bit for everybody. There is a bit for everybody of Gen AI, whether these are the developers, the admins, the customers, the agent, or the employees. And we will now take a look on some examples, on some videos, and I hope the quality is somehow fine. If not, you maybe need to come a little bit nearer to the stage, like in school. Please, the last row to the first row. No, just kidding. But let's see how it works. And we will start with the developers and admin. And the first use case, I think that was already mentioned today a lot of time. Yeah? This is what we call code assist. Yeah? So where we just enter a comment, and based on that, a code is created in ServiceNow. And here we will see an example. So I'm just entering here a comment, what I want to have there, and based on that, a code is created. And another cool feature, unfortunately, it is not shown here, but this is code explain. So with code explain, we would have the possibility that the code that was generated will be explained, so that I maybe as a maybe not that deep tech developer can really understand what has happened there, what was created, because in the end, you need to evaluate the code that was created, apparently. And last but not least, you can add then their code comment. And we will see later on some use cases where you can use those code assist capabilities. But in ServiceNow, it mainly consists out of workflows. And once our CEO, Bill McDermott, said, we can workflow everything. Okay, challenging statement. And we want to make it easier for our customers to build their own workflows. And with that, we already have like low-code tools. We have the Flow Designer. You may know the Flow Designer, where you can more or less drag and drop your flow. You can choose your data sources. Of course, the more complex it gets, the more you would maybe rely on some JavaScripts. But basically, you would have the possibility to do it maybe on a low-code base. But how cool would it be if we can create those flows only with typing some text? And this is our Flow Assist capability. So basically, what is happening here is entered some kind of text of a flow that I want to have created. So this flow gets automatically created. And here on the right side with the Now Assist, I can add additional steps in that flow. And again, here you will see there is a need for some coding guidance or some codings inside. And again, here we could use our code assist functionalities. So here we already combine two things. We combine the flow assist that allows us to create flows and to configure flows only by entering some natural language text, and it is combined with the code assist. So if there are some script includes or that kind of stuff, we would have the possibility again here via the comment to enter what we want to the script to be, and then the script is generated. Another interesting thing, I talked about that some minutes earlier, so the way how we interact with the ServiceNow platform. And if we take it from the perspective of an agent has its own dedicated workspace where the agent can see, for example, open incidents, breach SLAs, and upcoming tasks, and that kind of things. And those kind of workspaces, you are already able to build with the workspace builder. But how cool would it be if we can use Now Assist to build and to configure those workspaces? And this is exactly what we will see here in the next step. So this is the workspace. We want to add, for example, another dashboard. Show me all P1 incidents. So we see some examples. We can drag and drop it. And now I want a notification once an P1 incident occurs. So exactly, we are jumping again back to the flow designer. Here, the flow is created. We could, if it's correct, directly activate it. And last but not least, we want to do a communication to the user, like once this workspace is finished, we want the user to have a quick notification that they can start their work. So we have here combined like 3 functionalities in one. We are able to build, to configure our workspace, to combine it with workflows, and even to do some communication stuff, which really should make the life much easier in configuring and creating that kind of workspaces. So that was the first part, heading more or less towards the developers and the admins. The second part is more into the direction of the customers, the agent, and the employees. And as already said, with our no-code, low-code approach, we want our customers to be able to build their own applications, because the customer knows best what they are missing, and we are not always hitting the demands with our pre-built modules. Therefore, our customers need to be enabled to build their own application. And here at ServiceNow, and you may be aware of it, we have our app engine where you can exactly build in the Creator Studio your own application. And it is already quite sophisticated. I think if you have done it 3 or 4 times, you are getting quite used to it. Again, the more complex your application is, the more help you maybe would need from a developer, the more need for code is there. But how cool would it be if we are able to build those applications only with entering text? And this is what we will see here now on the next video. So this is from an employee perspective. The employee wants to create a form where salespeople can request a headshot from a photographer. So basically, where it started is in the employee center. And now you will see, how can I create this form was asked. The system checks if I'm allowed for this Creator Studio. She is. And now she's asked, what kind of fields do we need for the form? And I got a recommendation, maybe you need another field that could be helpful. And based on that, already the first form is created. Again, on the right side with Now Assist, we can adjust this field or adjust the form with maybe further field. Maybe another workflow is needed because I want a notification once this request is done, and I want to have it look a little bit more nicer. And of course, we could have it directly scalable for mobiles and for iPads. And I want to have a nice workspace, where I can see the incoming requests and where I can see how it's distributed, from whom are coming this request. And I think this use case combines from creating an application we need kind of form, we need a workflow for that, we need a workspace for that. And it all is created, or it's all combined in this one use case, which from our perspective will be a real game changer if we enable our customers to build like workflows, to build catalog items, to build application, all of that only with entering some text on the right side with the Now Assist. Another interesting use cases, and we are again starting in the employee center, is I need some help. I just want to, there it started. I want to know how to deal with spam. And what happens usually is I'm getting forwarded to 1,000 of knowledge base article. And imagine you're doing it with that mobile. It's like zooming in, swapping to the left, to the right, down, and in the end you found nothing. So basically what we are doing here is we are making use of the summary functionality. Unfortunately, you cannot read it properly, but basically the most recommended knowledge base article directly have a quick summary shown here above, and maybe that's already enough, or we can at least evaluate whether this knowledge base article is helpful for us. If we regard it from a perspective of an agent, as an agent, you're working on your workspace, you are having your open cases, which you can see here in the left corner, or here we have 90 open cases. We are opening this case, and we can see here there is much activities that is happening. And usually you would have to read through all this information of the activity stream. But how cool would it be if you are able to summarize all the relevant information of this ticket? And here we have a single button where you click on and you will directly get all the information, what has happened so far in the ticket, what steps have been taken. That could be an interesting use cases if you are maybe opening a case that was opened from a shift before you, and you just need some information on what has happened so far. And that is always very valuable if you want to share it with customer, because you do not think by yourself, okay, I now need to summarize everything. You can just click on summarize and then paste it in the customer visible activity stream, and then the customer is well aware of everything that has happened so far. With Gen AI, we would have the possibility, of course, to generate content as well. And I think this is a typical use case, like from a chatbot perspective, to generate content based on what has been written so far, or to have this connection to ChatGPT. This is another interesting use case, what is able with the chatbot in ServiceNow as well. And as said, in this, on that slide, I think 4 or 5 slides prior, it is good if we have input, we have our large language model, we have some output, and that would be, for example, input is the case, large language model is summarizing, the output is a summary. But what can we do with that summary? For example, I already told you we can use it, for example, to share it with a customer. But how cool would it be if we would be able to directly create knowledge base article? Because that is a relevant incident with something, for example, for the problem management, that are creating knowledge base article or for their known error database. And here, automatically, as you can see, at least a little bit on the right side, I got recommended to create a knowledge base article. I can share this knowledge base article, of course, will it be the perfect knowledge base article at that point of time? Apparently not. Of course, there is always the need to refine it, but at least the first step is done. Then maybe with regard to the workflow that you are having, another people is curating this knowledge base article and then release it. But this is just another use case how you can make use of this summarization or content generation functionality. And how are we creating those workflows? It might be a very complex process, but we try to really make it as easy as 1, 2, 3, something like that. Because the generative AI controller is a low-code integration that connects the Gen AI APIs to the Now platform. So that means on the left side, we see our typical flow designer. And here, for example, we have a specific trigger. The trigger is that the stage of an incident gets to resolved, for example. And what I now want to happen automatically is that the system summarize all the relevant information and put it into the resolution notes, because I'm too lazy to put it by myself into the resolution notes. And if you close an incident in ServiceNow, you need to fill in something in the resolution notes. Otherwise, the system is very angry on you. So therefore, what we are doing is we are just choosing here our Gen AI controller. So this is just an action. And we are choosing what should the Gen AI controller do, like creating content, or in this case, summarize content. What should the Gen AI controller summarize? Maybe a complete incident, maybe only the activity stream, or maybe some other field. So you can define it. But basically, it could be a summarization of the whole incident, of the whole case, for example. And the last step here would be, okay, then take this summary and put it directly into the resolution notes. So, and this is how you can make use of this Gen AI controller and really to build your own workflows with that. Of course, on this picture on the right corner, you could do the same for your virtual agent conversation. So this is our conversation builder here in the right corner. It looks a little bit similar. Basically, what you do here is you have like your different steps here on the left side or things to choose. You drag and drop it here into your flow. You need to, of course, put there some input, some text. And again, there's one capability which is called, in this case, AI knowledge base generator. And exactly at that point of time, the virtual agent will create automatically a knowledge base based, of course, on what you have entered before, whether it's a long text or on a conversation or things like that. And this is the way how you can configure your virtual agent conversation. And you could imagine there are massively much use cases how you can make use of the virtual agent. I want to finish my presentation for today with a quick video. I think it's 2 or 3 minutes, but basically it again will summarize some of the features, the functionalities that you have seen before and bring it into one story.
In this demo, we'll take a look at how coffee retailer, Coffee Corner, leverages ServiceNow's customer service management along with Now Assist, the platform's generative AI, to deliver a great customer experience. Here we have our customer, Uma, who places a coffee order for her team via the Coffee Corner mobile app. When she arrives at Coffee Corner, the order isn't ready, so she checks the app and realizes that she's ordered at the location near her home and not near her office. Uma then jumps in line to place a new order at the counter. While waiting, she begins a chat with the virtual agent to see if she can get a refund on her original order. With Now Assist, the virtual agent can interact in a more personalized manner, pull up Uma's transaction, and interpret her text asking for a refund, which kicks off the refund process. The virtual agent asks Uma to verify the order before submitting the request, which is easy to do right in the app. Now, let's take a look at how our Coffee Corner agent, Indra, uses ServiceNow's customer service management to help her process the request. Indra begins her day within the agent workspace. Here, she's presented with information that's pertinent to her role. She navigates to her inbox and sees a notification for Uma's case, along with additional information from Task Intelligence on why this case needs immediate attention. When Indra opens the case, she's presented with an AI-generated summary, allowing her to immediately get up to speed on the issue. Before Indra proceeds further, she needs to connect the case to the customer, which is a standard process for cases involving credit card refunds. Using the customer lookup, she confirms Uma is who she says she is and sees that Uma is in fact a loyal Coffee Corner customer. With Uma verified, Indra clicks on the light icon to help further train the AI model. Seeking additional guidance, she opens Now Assist, which tells her how to proceed based on the context of the case and Uma's history with Coffee Corner. Indra starts the refund process. In the past, refunds were tricky as they required access to third-party payment portals. But with ServiceNow's seamless integration and automated workflows, Indra is presented with the order details and selects all the line items for a full refund. This intelligent orchestration of systems and processes, along with Now Assist, allows agents to easily expedite case resolution, all from within a single pane of glass. Once the refund is submitted, the ServiceNow platform recommends granting 100 reward points to Uma given her VIP status. Next, Indra needs to update Uma and let her know that the refund has been submitted and the balance will be returned to her card. Leveraging Now Assist, the platform presents Indra with 3 message options from which to choose and edit. Because it's a refund, the platform defaults to an apologetic tone, but in this case, Indra switches to friendly and can let Uma know about the refund and the extra star points with just a couple of clicks. With the refund processed and the customer notified, Indra is ready to close out the case. Finalizing a case is a pain point for most agents as they need to log notes about the case and their interaction. But here, Now Assist pre-populates the resolution code, the cause, and notes which Indra can modify if needed. She closes the case and is ready to help another customer. Now let's transition back to Uma to see how she gets notified about the resolution. Uma is thrilled to receive a notification about the refund and a surprise 100 star points that same day. With ServiceNow, companies like Coffee Corner can automate and speed up issue resolution, enable smart self-service, and empower agents with real-time information and intelligence, and deliver to their customers an exceptional customer experience. This is just one example of how companies can accelerate value and innovation with ServiceNow, the platform for digital business. We make the world work better with pre-packaged and configurable solutions for customers, employees, and your entire ecosystem, all built on a common cloud platform. To learn more, visit servicenow.com.
Perfect. So I think this video wraps up quite good all the functionalities that I've shown to you in combination with the way we are interacting, we are using ServiceNow as a platform. And I hope that first you all now know ServiceNow is much more than ticketing systems, service management. ServiceNow is a transformation platform, low-code, no-code, automation. And secondly, you at least have now a glimpse of idea of what ServiceNow is doing with Gen AI or Gen AI in total. And of course, we are right at the start. So you will see maybe a little bit later, not all of these functions will be available in the current release. You maybe have seen some strange city names on the top. So the city names are the names of our family releases. Currently, we are in the Vancouver release, and the next release is Washington, then something with X, so we're going the alphabet. But I'm sure those functionalities will come within the next family releases, and I'm sure you will hear of them. So thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. The example with coffee was very, very interesting because it It's true for many of us, I think, because we drink coffee every day, right? And I think that this series will be interesting maybe with other claims, with other organizations and companies as well. Let's jump into the Slido because we've got a few questions over there. Will the AI features be available in personal instances for Vancouver release?
So at least those Gen AI features won't be available, at least not as of now in those personal instances.
Mm-hmm. What will be the usability of Code Flow Assist in an instance which is significantly customized and not using out-of-the-box modules?
Very good question. What will be the usability of Code Assist in an instance that is significantly... I think you have to answer it that way, that of course AI or Gen AI can support us, but it cannot do everything for us. And we know that situation at our customers that have heavily customized instances, data models, misuse, and that kind of things. Maybe the problem is a little bit different, that you, before starting with all of these Gen AI topics, really review your architecture. Are you maybe able to streamline your CMDB? Did you make use of our common service data model, so the way how we build up our CMDB? I think that are maybe steps before that, because if you have an instance which is significantly customized, it will be probably a little bit harder for those codes and flow assist. And as this code assist is just recently released in the newest Vancouver release, the flow assist, I think it is not released for Vancouver, maybe for the next release in Washington. But I think you need to do some pre-work maybe before hoping that this magic Gen AI will solve their problems.
Question about the app creation. When will be the app creation assist for non-tech employees available?
I think there was the word future. Honestly, I'm not sure. I would suggest maybe next year. But honestly, so as it's stated here, for non-tech employees, you can already start with the app creation, because our approach is or goes into the direction of citizen development, really enable even non-technical employees to be able to build workflows, to build catalog items, to build application. So from my perspective, if you are investing a little bit of time, if you maybe ServiceNow is already implemented in your company, and you maybe know some people there who might help you, who are more aware of this ServiceNow instance and technologies and that kind of things, I would firstly suggest to contact them, or maybe contact somebody from ServiceNow, because already you should be able to build your own applications, but of course it takes a little bit of time that you need to invest here.
We've got two more questions, and I think that we can do both of them. So the slide is clean there. Why is ServiceNow so popular solution comparing to other competitors? It's not visible in here. I can see it in the app.
I was just reading that question. Okay, you need to repeat it because...
why is ServiceNow so popular solution comparing to other competitors?
Now I can bring some marketing slides here to ServiceNow and give you some crazy numbers. But honestly, I think the main advantage is the Now platform and the strength of the platform in terms of how you can configure it, all the intelligent stuff that you're having, this low-code, no-code approach. So this is all the baseline, and based on that, we are providing different kind of modules. And as said right at the beginning, we are enhancing our portfolio massively. So we have quite high innovation circles. Every half a year, we have a new family releases. release with new features, with new modules. I think this is one thing that is here very beneficial as well. And the way how you are able to integrate ServiceNow in the customer's environment. If you think of an order flow, it starts with the CPQ system, let's say Salesforce, then it's an order system which can be delivered by ServiceNow, then you have a billing system which could be SAP, and last but not least you have the technical assurance, which is apparently ServiceNow. But ServiceNow is really able to integrate with that kind of system with out-of-the-box spokes, and of course you can build your own APIs. So I think that are 3 huge advantages. And maybe that's the reason why many customers at the moment trust in us.
And you see, we don't even need any more marketing slide. Last question. What is the reason to use Employee Portal while Service Portal is basically the same thing?
It is not. The Employee Center, I would say, it's the next stage to our Service Portal. The Service Portal had a quite big focus on, let's say, having somewhere a catalog, creating maybe incidents, having my open task. But the Employee Center is much more, and you have maybe already seen it in the videos. You have, for example, to add there several other widgets which you can maybe use for HR use cases as well. But you can even add there things like YouTube videos, Twitters, and everything else. And you can do like communication to your employees. So if you take a look on a fully built employee portal, maybe take some time afterwards, or I can show it to you and compare it to the service portal, we will have a huge amount on additional capabilities that we are able to show on the Employee Center.
Thank you very much, Moritz. There was Moritz Kleine
Thank you.
from ServiceNow.